Okay, so we're going to do another one of these. Orc fodder, now they're called, instead of orc band. I like that. And this time we're going to be going up against the Blackback Mountain Berserkers. I'm expecting good things from these guys. Taking out the trash is pretty much what they live for. And in an even more relevant note, the top 10 shock infantry is going to be the next top 10 I do, so these guys will almost certainly figure, I imagine. I'm halfway through doing the things necessary to figure out that, and I'm pretty certain these guys will be on there somewhere. Really the only thing going against them is their relative lack of survivability. In terms of attack, there's not really much that can match them. Let us see how well they do against the fodder. Their hit points should really protect them from the fodder. Also, the Arthurdane swords will probably have to be removed, because not only were they renamed, but they were also probably the unit that underwent the most rebalancing between the pre-release version and the released version, so I will probably have to rerun that one just in my own time, but they will certainly not be as good as they once were because they don't have hit points anymore. A shame, but really I think it was kind of necessary. Arnor were pretty damn strong with them. They didn't have anything they were bad at. Now though, shock on foot is something they kind of lack, I suppose. The dismounted Arnor Knights are still kind of good at that though. Been a little while since I've done one of these, so it'd be good to get back into the swing of doing these, as well as the top 10s. Incidentally, I had a request to do live battles again, but I'm not sure how well that would go down. If people would prefer live battles instead of replays, I can do that as well. It has the benefit of it not being just me after all. And it's also easier for me to record and upload, because I don't have to do the battle twice, essentially. But again, it's only if people want it. After all, live battles are a little more difficult to get cinematic, or up-close shots, I should say. I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at getting cinematic shots, but certainly in a field battle that's harder. In a siege it's easier, because of the elongated engagements between infantry. The second wave of orc fodder. Still no Blackback Berserkers have fallen. There goes some orc fodder routing. That's another thing. The fear effect that the blackguards have will apply to the blackbacks as well. Oh, one died. Very interesting to see how these guys get on. I think their lack of survivability will hurt them in the end, but I think they will get most of the way through the fodder. Just a very deadly unit all around, the Blackback Berserkers. I've been learning some interesting things about the shock infantry as well as I've been doing the tests. It's something that I'm going to have to go through in a bit more detail, I think. I'm also going to have to... Subjective opinion will probably come into it a little bit more so than the heavy cavalry, mainly because there are more factors. It might actually be the most subjective list of them all, really, because there's a lot of factors to consider with the shock, but I'm most of the way there, I think. I'm pretty sure I know what the best of the bunch is. It's just a matter of figuring out what the best of the rest is. That will be coming out relatively soon, maybe on Sunday, which would be tomorrow. I don't know. Yes, I'm filming this and uploading it on the same day, how about that? But yeah, it'll probably be at some point, if not tomorrow, then within the next few days. Depends how much live recording I get done, I suppose. I really do like this mod though now, the sub-mod. I think the variety is really what makes it. There is a few more rebalancing things to get used to, both in the open field and in sieges. The one thing that I would say about the mod that I would probably change first of all is make spears and halberdiers better against cavalry, do more damage, because at the moment I think cavalry is too safe and too easy to use. I understand cavalry being the most important element of a field battle, but at the moment it really is the be-all and end-all. I think there is a need for halberdiers and spears to be slightly better against them, just so certain factions are a little bit more viable in the field. At the moment, Rohan really is the king. Khand is pretty good as well, Dol Amroth if you use them correctly. Oh. My bad. Gonna have to send in this next unit while there's still 100 left to make up for that. But still. Got carried away with my talking about balance. How boring of me. Oh no, look out, the fodder's coming for you. Still, I think that I think that a little bit of a swing away from Cav in the field would make it a little bit more interesting. Just my opinion, but I think it is the opinion of a few others as well. I hope I'm not alone anyway. Anyway, I think we'll stay on for a moment. See them slaughter the fodder. Shock infantry is very important now as well in a offensive siege, mainly because it is your primary damage dealer in that case. In other questions of balance though, I think that the Gondorian infantry, considering shielded infantry is what they're meant to be good at, it feels like they're not particularly great next to other factions. Like, for example, I noticed Rohan have got a better sword and board unit than Gondor have, which is just weird to me. It doesn't seem right. But other than that, I think that aside from Gondor, I'll send in the next wave now, 10 ahead, try and make up for it, the last wave being a little bit late. Aside from Gondor though, I think all the factions are pretty well what they should be, mostly anyway. There are some little irregularities, but I've played Gondor a little bit, and that's the thing that I would note with them. I would suggest that maybe their sword and board units should be a little bit stronger. Mainly because if spears are what they're meant to be good at, spears are honestly kind of shitty at the moment. With at least next to other things. I would much rather have halberdiers in every situation than spears. Even for holding the line, I would say halberdiers are better. Like, spears in general, I think, need a little bit more. Like, that a bigger bonus against cavalry would really make them far more useful. If not, maybe don't give halberdiers that, but certainly give the spears that, to give them a reason for being. But yeah, Gondor, I would say, shielded units need a bit more. Need a little bit extra, in my opinion, to make them worth picking. At the moment, there's factions that do everything better than them, which is sad, I think. Not that I want to complain too much. I mean, for the vast majority of this video, I've talked about everything other than what the Blackback Berserkers are doing, which is hacking their way through the fodder. They've lost 4 units, 4 waves in. So they're doing alright for the time being. They're certainly cutting their way through. This breakage is maybe something to be a little bit concerned about, because again, the Blackguard didn't get onto the list because they broke units rather than killing them, which did lead to them surviving longer, but who knows. Anyway, I think we'll make a little cut here and return a little later on to see how the Blackbacks are doing. So approaching the halfway point, we can see the Blackback Berserkers have taken some significant losses at this point. I'd be impressed if they could eke out a victory from here, to be honest with you, because they have taken damage and that will tell. That being the case, it would show how important armour still is, because the Blackback Berserkers, of course, they focus almost entirely on attack, whereas the Dalian Paladins, who have lower attack, but have much thicker armour, were able to take a victory in this situation. So it does go to show that armour is still exceptionally important, but I would say that the Blackback Berserkers, based on what I've run so far with regards to the top 10 shock infantry, are the better shock unit when compared with the Dalian Paladins. But again, that will be for reasons that I will explain when that comes. Exceptionally damaging, the Blackback Berserkers. Certainly the Misty Mountains' scariest foot unit, at least. I would say just in general, actually. Just because no matter what you put up against them, you're going to take some pretty heavy losses. Those 2 swords, dual wielding. A couple of dual wielding units now. And I would count dual wielders as shock, because shock is essentially just any unit that's focused primarily around attack rather than defense. And the Blackback Berserkers are certainly all about that, but again, I think we'll make another little cut here, a few more waves in, and we'll see how they're doing then. Well, the crunch is absolutely going to happen soon, with only 39 men remaining, and I think it is now actively impossible for them to finish higher than the Dale Paladins. Well, not impossible, but, well, it technically is impossible. They're definitely going to lose the amount that would be necessary to take them under half. But yes, the Blackback Berserkers, I don't know if they're going to win. It's possible. Their attack score might just be enough to carry them over the line, but with the hit point losses they've doubtless sustained, I'm not sure. Eventually the numbers disadvantage is really going to hurt them. The carpet of bodies. They have certainly gone through a lot, and this is the sort of thing that the Blackback Berserkers are good at, but there goes the general. Not important though, because the Blackback Berserkers are unbreakable, which is something else they have in their favour. They will fight to the last here, there's going to be no breakage at the end. That might be worth 10 or even 20 kills when it comes down to it, and that might be what it takes to... They're certainly going to be Elder Palace Guard level, maybe higher. All this fodder. Orc fodder, I do like the new name. It's very appropriate. They were never anything else after all. Okay, it's going to be... I do like the way the Blackback Berserkers look as well. Like the giant swords, they look almost rusted. The attack comes from their relative size and brutality rather than their craftsmanship. It's good. And the Misty Mountains are now a force to be reckoned with. They do dish out the damage. They're certainly not a force to be taken lightly anymore like they were in vanilla. They and Gundabad were certainly the laughing stock back then, but certainly not anymore. Very dangerous. Anyway, I think we will make another cut here. Just for the next couple of waves, because I think we are going to be approaching the end pretty soon here. There is only 28 remaining. I don't think they're going to have enough to make it, but it is going to be exceptionally close. They are falling with more frequency now, but I don't know, I mean there's not many fodder units left. They might just narrowly squeak it. For a unit with no armour, this would be very impressive. The Blackback Berserkers aren't really meant to be about endurance, they're meant to be about inflicting a mortal blow on your opponent as quickly as possible. And this may be fodder, but it is a lot of fodder that they're going to have to deal with. And there's still a decent amount. There's still over 800 that they need to dispatch. It's going to be quite a task. The general's gone, but again, doesn't matter, 25 now. Ooh, it's going to be very close. I'm still coming down in favour of them not being able to do it, because there will be a point where one unit of orc fodder will be able to completely overrun them. And it is relatively soon that that's going to happen. They're still able to form a pretty good line against the orc fodder, but that's only just the case. And as they lose more men, 24, they're going to be able to kill with less frequency. It is going to be close though. They're certainly going to be above the likes of the Helm Hammers, but will they be above the Elder Palace Guard? I think that's the real question. The crunch is happening. They're falling very quickly into the low teens. 12. This next wave that I send in is going to be the end of the Berserkers. They put up a brave fight. With the breakage, I'm not sure they're going to be past the Elder Palace Guard. It'll be interesting to see. They've made it more waves in, but I think the kills that they technically lost due to the breaking might be enough to put the Elder Palace Guard ahead of them. We'll see. I might be wrong. Only 10 of them remain though. And that next wave is going to be the death knell for them. Still in double digits. Now down into single digits as soon as I said that. A brave performance from a unit that's meant to be all about quick damage rather than endurance. This is going to be it. Still 9 remaining. There goes another orc fodder. I wonder if they can break the unit that was there before. Probably not. Not with this many. 8 remaining. I think we can we can safely speed this up. 5. Well, let's hang on in there. 4. 3. I can see all 3 of them in the shot. Well, now I can't. I think that's the last one. They're all gathering around him. And there he goes. 2,653 is enough to put them past the Elder Palace Guard. Very impressive. For a unit with no armour and all about attack, considering the Elder Palace Guard is kind of the same thing but with more hit points. Then again, I suppose the Blackback Berserkers do have a few more men. I suppose that told. Very impressive performance. Not a victory, but still very, very good indeed. Enough to put them into 3rd now that the Arthedain swords are technically gone. So yeah, impressive. If anyone's got any requests for the next unit, do leave it. And if anyone's got any requests for anything else in general, leave that as well. And thank you for watching.